Hare Krishna. Summary of Canto 3, Chapter 32. Entanglement in Fruitive Activities. Here in this chapter, Lord Kapila speaks about returning to this world by Sakama Karma and not returning to this world by Nishkama Karma. Then he criticizes non-devotees. Also, having explained the results of condemned sinful activities, now Kapila explains the result of prescribed activities with material desire in this chapter. Kapila said, first he spoke about the attached workers or practitioners of Sakama Karma who cannot attain liberation. He said a Grihamedi or an attached worker performs dharma for enjoying Artha and Kama, and after enjoying them he acts the same way again and again. Such a person is averse to bhakti, but he worships devtas and pitris with full faith. As a result, he is elevated to the moon where he drinks the soma juice and then he returns back to earth. All the planets attained by such a Grihamedi are destroyed when the Lord goes to his bed of serpents Anantasesh at the end of the day of Brahma. What about the detached workers or practitioners of Nishkama Karma? They can actually attain the Lord. The more intelligent people who execute their Swadharma with detachment and do not desire the fruits of their actions but offer them to the Lord are very peaceful and pure in consciousness without a sense of proprietorship or false egotism. Such people travel through the path of the sun and they attain the Lord. What about the Hiranyagarbha worshippers? The Hiranyagarbha worshippers remain in the material world in Satyaloka till the end of Brahma's lifetime. And when Brahma gives up his body and goes to the Lord, at that time these detached yogis who have attained Brahma's planet by the practice of breathing exercises give up their bodies and they enter the body of Brahma and get liberated along with Brahma. Now here there is a note. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that if the Hiranyagarbha worshippers worship only Brahma but do not have bhakti for Lord Vishnu, they will not attain liberation at the end of Brahma's life. They merge into the body of Mahavishnu along with Brahma, but when the universes are created again, they enter into the universe. Although Brahma becomes liberated, he cannot liberate his devotees. Only the Supreme Lord can liberate one from the clutches of Maya. Since without bhakti, no one can become liberated, it is always better to perform bhakti. Therefore, Kapila said, my dear mother, please take direct shelter of the Lord who is seated in everyone's heart. Even Brahma, the Kumaras, and other exalted personalities don't get liberated if they have Bheda Drishti, or an independent vision or a mentality of being the doers and being independent of the Supreme Lord. Though they attain Mahavishnu, they will come back in their same forms and positions in the next creation. Because of their absence of bhakti, Brahma and others return to the place where people perform Sakama Karma. Lord Kapila then criticized Sakama Karma. He said, with their minds attached to this world, these materialistic people, they just perfectly perform their prescribed duties, but they are attached to the fruitive results and they're tormented by passion in their minds and they're absorbed in household affairs and they simply worship forefathers. They are interested only in dharma, artha and kama and they take no interest in harikatha and they're just compared to stool-eating hogs and they're attached to this impermanent materialistic world. Perfectly performing their prescribed duties from birth to death, they go to Pitraloka. After their pious credits are exhausted, they fall back again to earth. So like this, Kapila, he criticized the Sakama Karma process. But then now he begins to say that by bhakti, everything is achieved. So this is the conclusion of Lord Kapila's teachings. Lord Kapila said, therefore, with full attention, you should worship the Supreme Lord who is so attractive with his attractive lotus feet, which is only worth worshipping. Accept his lotus feet with all devotion and love. Bhakti unto Lord Vasudeva makes one advance in knowledge and detachment as well as in self-realization. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. What are the symptoms of such a devotee? He is equipoised in sensory activities and vision. He is transcendental to good and bad, superior and inferior. And by his transcendental intelligence, he sees himself uncontaminated by matter. He is elevated to a transcendental platform equal in qualities with the Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead called as Bhagavan is one, but he appears differently as Brahman, Paramatma or Purusha according to the different processes followed by various practitioners. Because Bhagavan contains both Brahman and Paramatma, the realization of Bhagavan by Bhakti includes the realizations of Paramatma and Brahman. On the other hand, by practicing jnana for Brahman or yoga for Paramatma, one does not attain the position of an associate of the Lord, for this is nowhere stated in the scriptures. Then Lord Kapila, he spoke a little bit on jnana. He said there is one common requirement for all yoga practitioners to achieve their respective goals, which is complete detachment from matter. But those who are averse to the transcendental realization of the supreme absolute truth, differently through mistaken speculation, uh, think everything to be false. But everything is false is not true. Everything actually rests on the Lord. From Mahat Tattva, the Lord manifested the false ego, the three modes of material nature, the five elements, 11 senses, and the whole universe has come from the Lord. So, how to attain this knowledge? It is possible by faith and bhakti, and also practice of yoga and detachment with a constantly controlled mind, a giving up material association. So, like this Kapila said, I have explained to you about jnana, realization of Brahman, by which one understands the truth about Prakriti and Purusha. Then finally Kapila said, there are various paths, but ultimately our goal is to realize Bhagavan, either by bhakti or devotional service or by jnana, which is philosophical research. One has to find the same destination. Who's the same destination? It is the supreme absolute truth, Bhagavan. But it is well known that the jnanis attain Brahman and not Bhagavan. Then how can the destination of both bhaktas and jnanis be the same? Just as a single object is appreciated differently by different senses, the Lord is one, but according to the different spiritual practices, he appears to be different. Just like perceiving milk with different senses. When we see milk, we see that it is white. When we taste it, it appears palatable. When we touch milk, it appears cold. When we smell it, it appears aromatic. And when we hear, we understand that it's called milk. But one can best appreciate the milk with the tongue by tasting it and not with the eyes, nostrils, or ears. Similarly, approaching the Supreme Lord by different means is possible. There are those who try to find the Lord by mental speculation, and there are those who approach the Lord by his bodily effulgence through mental speculation, and those who try to find him by mystic yoga realize him as the localized super soul. But those who directly approach the Supreme Lord through Bhakti Yoga can see him face to face as Bhagavan. Thus, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate destination of all the processes. But depending on one particular process that one follows, one reaches a particular aspect of the Lord. But the Bhagavan realization by Bhakti includes the realizations of the Lord's Paramatma and Brahman features as well. Thus, Bhakti is definitely the best path and Bhagavan realization is the ultimate. Now, what are the different spiritual practices by which the Lord can be perceived? The Lord can be perceived by various spiritual practices like pious action, sacrifice, charities, austerities, Vedic study, discussion on the Lord, control of the senses, mind, renunciation, yoga practice, sakama and nishkama bhakti, varnashram activities, understanding the nature of Atma, and firm detachment. What is the qualification to receive this knowledge? These teachings are not meant for the envious, agnostics, those unclean in behavior, who are very proud, hypocrites, greedy, materially attached non-devotees, and those who hate devotees. These teachings should be given to the faithful devotees who are respectful, non-envious, friendly towards jivas, eager to render devotional service, who are detached, peaceful-minded, unselfish, pure, and who have taken the Lord as their dearmost object. So there is a Palashruti for this entire section. It says that one who faithfully hears or speaks this topic achieves the Lord's approval. Hare Krishna. This completes the summary of Canto 3, Chapter 32, Entanglement in Fruitive Activities. Hare Krishna.